8 schools in the MacArthur Park, Westlake, downtown area of Los Angeles. And we're really excited about this program, this initiative that we have going here at Camino Nuevo. It's called the Ethnic Studies for All Initiative. And what we're trying to do with the Ethnic Studies for All Initiative is bring ethnic studies pedagogy, curriculum, and frameworks into as many classrooms as possible.
This ethnic studies pilot was so much more than just creating a curriculum for my students. Also an opportunity for me to create relatable content and foster those experiences and emotions in my students that I never had when I was their age.
I'm African American, and one of the things that I realized when I went into college my freshman year was that some of the anger that I had and that was displaced was not only due to lack of a father figure, but it was also lack of a historical foundation.
Ethnic studies, specifically Chicano studies, was my salvation in higher education. It gave me my identity. It solidified me as a Latina in this country and in this society. And if it wasn't for me being exposed to that, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
It's really crossing different borders and really looking at different aspects on how different groups really could collaborate and really find the unity within our community. And I think that's the key.
We're able to explore the students' cultural backgrounds and try to help them connect with who they are and building that identity, especially because they may not get it elsewhere and they might just get it from home. And if they don't see what they see at home out in the real world, they may develop kind of like a compartmentalized identity. And so trying to create more of like a holistic approach to music as who you are, what music do your parents listen to, where do you come from, let's explore that, let's celebrate whatever music your parents listen to, and let's celebrate what you like to listen to, and being able to teach music that relates to who they are as a student and as a person.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about Mayans right now, and I asked my kids, so who's from Guatemala? Who's from El Salvador? And once I let them know, like, wow, your ancestors were the ones who created these pyramids. They gave us the number 0, and you are a part of that. And their expressions, that big aha, was so empowering.
The sooner our kids get exposed to ethnic studies, especially in every content area, the more they'll be sure about themselves as people of color in this society. And I think it's super important for them to have an identity that's very solid.
So through slavery, a lot of the cultural aspects of Africans were purposely stripped from them so that they would assimilate to the cultures of the majority. You fast forward, a couple hundred years, and the children of those slaves, the grandchildren of those slaves, the generations from those slaves now no longer can connect to any homeland. And if you remove a person from their homeland and you strip them from their culture, as they learn and grow, and they recognize the othering that happens in our culture through media or through learning and text, that othering starts to displace you in the community that you're a part of.
Really thinking about ethnic studies not as an elective or an optional class, but rather an integral part of our students' education. At our campus, ethnic studies is a G requirement. All students are required to take the course, and many times when they're not enrolled in the course will come asking, and I think that's very much part of the culture that we've created in giving value to this type of course, and also ensuring that this approach to instruction is present in many other courses like English and history. And standing behind me are some of the pieces of our students that are emerging from art.
So it's called Art in the News, and what I had students do was I had them pick an issue of concern to them, so an issue related to that's having an impact on them, And then what they had to do is think about what they wanted to actually do about it, right? So they could either educate about the issue, they could advocate for people impacted by the issue, they could organize around the issue, they could agitate to actually to call folks out around that specific issue, or they could archive the movement or organizing that happened around the issue. So students did an artwork that presents the issue, and then they had to actually take a strategy.
And so basically what we did is we were studying the book burnings that took place in 1562 when the codices and the amashes were burned by the Spanish priests. And so when we were studying that, we were reading like Eduardo Galeano, who talks about memory cannot be burned. And so as a way to preserve the memory, we created these codices, and then the students worked on these different assignments. Everything from algebra, this is actually algebra that they were working on in their algebra class, but with Maya numbers, to their names and Maya hieroglyphics, geography.
We also talked about recycling. We built a block out of cardboard. So that was something amazing that students really love. And we're really excited to see how simple materials that we can find anywhere, we can build a block and do a printing lesson out of it. Parents were also really excited in doing this. And that's my main focus here, is that parents were actually bringing back memories that they thought they had lost. For example, a parent was tearful because it reminded her of grandma, certain symbols that they were looking for.
I became inspired to collaborate with other teachers to develop ways to help our students see injustice and call for change by making meaning out of points, out of tables, out of the slope of a line, out of areas, and out of equations.
So when I think back over the last couple of years that we've been doing this work, I look back on it as a pathway to my growth as an educator. I got to learn how to become a better teacher, how to service my students, how to inspire them.
I think the ultimate goal in doing that, in healing myself, is like, as a group, how do we heal ourselves? And I think it's not something that I do on my own. I think it's something that we do in circle, in community, and in collaborative work with you and with others. And I think that's what the beautiful thing of the initiative, but also all the connections that we're doing. It's really lending itself to that.
This program is really important for affirming the foundational language, culture, and experience of all of our students. It basically allows our teachers to facilitate meeting the standards in a way that students can relate to, that affirm their culture, affirm their language, affirm their experience in this country, and the countries that they represent. Those units of study are being shared, which means more students are being engaged in ethnic studies.
Anytime that a teacher decides or has a chance to bring curriculum that really is relevant to students, you see their engagement really go up. And so I believe that ethnic studies is definitely a way to respond to our students, the students that we serve in this community, because it really listens to their stories and identifies ways to make their stories relevant, since it's missing out of the traditional curriculum.
Us purposely infusing the study of the majority of the population that we serve, we infuse that culture into their learning. They're more easily able to understand what they're learning about, not just meeting standards, but really able to embrace what they're learning about and also develop a deeper lens around their own identity, their own culture, their own language, which affirms them, which again makes it easier for them to understand the role of their people in this society.
And it matters that we share the stories, that we stand up for our kids, that we validate their experiences, their families' experiences, and that we really give them that foundation that's going to anchor them in how beautiful and wonderful their backgrounds and their stories are, and it's going to set them up to thrive as individuals, regardless of the path that they want to take forward, because they know who they are.